everybody, my name is Black and Nolan. Welcome back to another episode of League News. You give me 10 minutes, I'll give you the world when it comes to League of Legends content, updates, and all that good stuff. Today we're talking about the new Assassin update, which was released today and has been teased for a really long time, but now it's officially part of the preseason. There are 4 Assassins getting some extra TLC: Rengar, Talon, Katarina, and Leblanc. This is a big deal. This update is meant to give some counterplay and some definition to Assassins, because really, an Assassin is meant to blow you up before you react, but the lack of counterplay made them unfun to play against and really difficult to balance. But it looks like the balance team has found out a nice balance between looking for an open opportunity and providing adequate counterplay to make sure it's satisfying to pick up a kill, but you can also do something about it. So we're going to delve into each of the Assassins and hopefully give you a little bit of insight into why these changes were made and what to expect, and everything is subject to change because it's on the PBE right now. So anyway, enough talking from me. Let's get into it. And as always, if you guys enjoy the video, help me out. We're looking for 10 likes today. Slap a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's get into the news. Oh, Assassins. Assassins. Now, I will admit, I do love playing Assassins. My favorite out of this bunch is Rengar. You jump out of stealth and you kill the enemy AD carry before they even realize what the hell happened to them. And these 4 champions have had a history of being frustrating to play against, satisfying to play if you're ahead. And there is no greater awful feeling in the world than being an AD carry or an enemy mage and looking for a Rengar, seeing that exclamation point on your head and realizing, well, my shit's about to get wrecked. Well, all that changes today. We're gonna go through each assassin and figure out what's been changed about them to give them their new identity in the upcoming season for League of Legends. Now, so we're focusing on Talon, Rengar, LeBlanc, and Katarina. So we're going to start off with Talon. Now, Talon's still the original knifey stabby guy that you're used to seeing, but some of his kit has been changed up. His new passive is called Blade's End. Now, doing damage with his abilities will allow him to stack up 3 little stabby knife marks around the target, and then when you get that basic attack off, it's going to bleed for a ludicrous amount of damage. His Q is still Noxian Diplomacy. Now, he'll be able to jump to a target, doing damage, but if you do the attack from melee range, you will get a crit. So instant crit, he already stacks big damage, so that's going to hurt a lot, and that's going to feel real satisfying to get in close. If you score a kill, you get a little bit of health back as well. W is still Rake. Now, it looks like it acts the same way, but there is some more counterplay attached to it. They come back to Talon a lot more slowly, so it gives the enemy a chance to flash out or even walk out. It still slows, so like I said, same ability, just increased counterplay, which is what they're going with here. Now, E, this is a brand new ability, and when I first saw this, I didn't believe what was going on. So Talon's just going to be able to jump over terrain like it's Assassin's Creed or something like that. Now, he's not going to be able to completely just go across the map without penalty. Once he jumps over terrain, he's not going to be able to jump over for a little bit of time. So he's actually pigeonholing himself into a location. So while you think he might not be able to get away, you know, you can try and use that knowledge. Say, hey, he jumped over this wall, he jumped over this wall. There are no more walls to jump over, so we can lock him down right here. Alternatively, you can use it to get away, you can use it to close the distance on an enemy, and yeah. So instead of you just teleporting to your opponent, interrupting their channel, which is what he's losing, he's gonna get way more map mobility. And he was already pretty mobile before. As R is the same thing. Shadow Assault looks like the same thing, but there's a bit more counterplay. It looks like it doesn't activate as fast. Like I said, all of the damaging abilities, they'll apply that mark, and if you get that basic attack, they're gonna bleed, they're gonna hurt, they're gonna cry for dear life. So that's Talon. Up next, Rengar. Now this dude, this stabby knife cat has had quite the foray in terms of balance and trying to adjust him so he feels like an assassin, but anybody who has had the unfortunate opportunity to go up against Rengar knows what I'm talking about. It's really frustrating to play against him. They've changed his passive, Unseen Predator. Now, you'll still be able to leap out of brush, but when you jump in to enter your combat phase, you're going to get 1 ferocity stack. And there aren't 5 stacks of ferocity anymore. They've lowered it down to 4. Now when you get to max ferocity, your next ability becomes empowered, getting special effects and giving him a move speed buff. His Bone Tooth Necklace is also updated. Whenever he takes down a unique enemy champion, he will get a stack. Now, because you can only go against 5 enemy champions, that means all of the Thrill of the Hunt stacks have been changed, and there's only 5 different buffs that you can get. So you don't have to worry about trying to get 15 kills or assists. As long as you get those 5 kills against 5 separate enemy champions, you'll stack up, you'll gain some bonus AD, and you'll be a happy, stabby kitty. Now, Q is still Savagery, but they've changed it up. First of all, it starts off in an AoE, and then immediately goes forward after that. Now, if the empowered ability is used, you get massive increased damage on the ability. So just remember, instead of it being a regular auto attack reset, it attacks in an AoE, then straight ahead. So it's a little bit of a skill shot. So the counterplay is the person in front of Rengar's strike can actually get out of the way and, not be bled to death. W is still Battle Roar. Now, it used to grant flat resists and heal on the empowered stack. Now this time, it'll heal him for a percentage of the damage he's taken in the past few seconds. And if he gets the empowered stack, he removes all CC on him and prevents incoming CC for a little bit. So Rengar is going to be able to actually get up in a team fight, not get blown up instantaneously, and actually feel useful for once. Because, once you're in there with Rengar, enemy's ready with a pink ward, ready to just lay it to smack it down on your candy ass. So this should provide some interesting situations where tank Rengar is a thing, or even full AD Rengar is a thing. So we'll have to see how that works out. E is still Bola Strike. It's the same thing. The empowered one will root. First enemy hit gets slowed. R is Thrill of the Hunt still. They've changed it in the following way. Now, Rengar is not stealth anymore, but the new term is camouflage. You can still be seen by enemy champions in a certain range, but otherwise he's invisible. Now he's going to be able to go around and prowl for a long period of time, and then you can jump in on an enemy champion and you will automatically crit on them. So you commit yourself, wait for the perfect time to strike. You don't have to worry about the random, Rengar could be within 1,000 units of me or my enemy AD carry or whatever. You can jump in there, get that crit, get that Savagery strike, use the empowered W. I like where they're going with this. Now Rengar is disabled in the PvE as of the making of this video because there's a crazy bug with his W where he's allowed to do it infinite times. So sadly can't show you that video, but when he's back on the PvE, hopefully we can play the Rengar the right way it's meant to be played. Now LeBlanc's passive is Sigil of Malice. Doing damage with LeBlanc's abilities will put a mark on the target, which can be blown up and consumed by other abilities after a few seconds to do extra damage. So it's just like her old Q, but it applies on all of her abilities. Shatter Orb is her new Q. So, does damage, targeted damage. If the orb triggers your passive, it'll blow up, consuming the sigil and dealing damage to the nearest available target. So nice AoE wave clear there, something a little bit different from the current build where it's just straight up a nuke ability on a single target. W is still Distortion. You'll go ahead and dash to a nearby enemy or area, and then you can hit W again to dash on back. E is Ethereal Chain still. You go ahead and root the first enemy hit, slow them down. If you get the full shackle, they will become rooted and take more damage. So ability is the same as before. Now, Mimic is the one that's changed. Now, LeBlanc is going to become invisible for a certain duration, and she makes a Mimic to take her place and make stronger versions of one of her basic abilities. The Mimic only lasts for a few moments, and it'll go away if it takes damage from enemies or turrets. Now, when you Mimic LeBlanc's ultimate, it'll spawn a Mimic at the target location instead. Once the Mimic is made, it'll walk around the nearest visible enemy champion, casting a non-damaging version of LeBlanc's most recently used ability upon arrival. So, they've moved the Mimic away from her passive and threw it on her ultimate. We're going to have to look at some more advanced gameplay about how that works, so I'll try and link a video in the description about someone who's actually good at the game using her abilities. I'm just here to give you the news, guys. Last but certainly not least, Katarina. Be still in my beating heart. Before getting to Katarina, as you all know, was the pentakill master. Probably the easiest champion to get pentakills on other than Master Yi. But she's been changed so many times that it's really hard for her to pick up pentakills unless you know how enemy cooldowns are. People have to be at a certain HP. You have to make sure you're not going to get CC'd and blown up. And so they're changing Katarina in the following ways. Our passive is still Veracity. After she kills an enemy champion, the cooldowns of her abilities go down significantly. So make sure you get those killing blows, rack up those cooldowns, and keep spamming. Bouncing Blade's a little different now. Now you're going to throw a dagger, and instead of it jumping to each enemy just like regular chain lightning, it'll hit all the enemies and then it'll fall on the ground. When you pick up the dagger, she does a little spin, and she does AoE magic damage in an area around her. So great for wave clear, but if she wants to do more damage, she's not going to be able to just sit back from 500 range, chuck knives, and take no damage. She's going to have to go up in there to do damage, which I'm okay about. Preparation is her new W. Now, she'll throw a dagger in the air, gaining movement speed for a short duration, and then after a little bit, she can pick up the dagger. Now, If you saw from Q, whenever you pick up a dagger, you do the AoE flourish magic damage. Little mini death notice there. Throw it in the air, you can use it to get away, and when you pick it back up, you can go back in to do damage. E is still Shumpo, and you can blink to target enemy, ally, or dagger. You're not going to be able to jump to wards or minions anymore. So, you can use your W to set up where your dagger should be. You can Shumpo to it, pick it up, do damage, use it to escape. So, you're going to have to choose whether you want to commit to do damage or commit to getting away. And you got to make sure that a friend is there. Like I said, no more ward jumping. R is still Death Lotus. Now, this time you'll be able to see the AoE in which the Death Lotus happens. It seemed to be just kind of a guess where that happened last time, and you ended up dying. But now you'll be able to see where it is, get yourself out of harm's way before you CC and blow up Katarina. Everyone in the general area of Death Lotus is going to get Grievous Runes, which means reduced healing. And so, Kat hasn't changed that much, but the biggest thing is she's not going to be so safe anymore, which is my biggest complaint personally with her. So, those are the 4 main big assassin changes. And like I said, all the changes are up on the PBE for you to go experiment and see what's going on. There are a bunch of high elo YouTubers like Red Mercy, Panzer Dragon that are going to be going out and checking out what's going on with these assassins. The rest of the assassins, they've got some very minor tweaks to change up their gameplay. Fizz, his Churn the Waters, his R, the shark gets bigger depending on how further the shark has traveled. Zed, when you blow somebody up with Deathmark, he's going to get a portion of the target's AD. Akali's going to be able to blink a short distance, leaving Twilight Shroud at her original location. Kha'Zix is getting some changes to his evolutions. Q, W, and R, they're going to get some updates. Shaco, when you use your clone and it dies, it's going to be dropping Jack-in-the-Boxes to fear your targets, creating more mass hysteria, more confusion. And you can go back in the shadows, laugh to yourself, and sip on some tea before you shiv somebody in the back. And Echo's passive is not going to slow anymore, thank God. But when you ult, you're going to be able to trigger parallel convergence when you go back through time. So you're going to get that speed boost when you ult instead of forever sticking on somebody. Ugh. Anyway, that's going to do it for League News for right now. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed me going over these videos, I'm going to be going over more videos in the coming days. And I'm excited to be able to do this with you. Let me know what you thought of the video. Leave a comment below. Leave a like if you did like the video. Be sure to please follow me on Twitter, Twitch. I'm at Black and Nola. And it'd be nice to hear from you guys. Send me whatever, whenever. Until the next League News, I'm Akinola Verissimo, aka the Young Nola. I'll see you guys next time. I love your faces. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.